The sun enters Cancer.
Speak of the sun.
All the emotions.
And you see its rays.
Oh.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of
ESPOOKYS Talk.
That's right, guys. Guess what? Your favorite ESPOOKYS podcast is back again, ready to roll. I am Arturo, and I am here, as always, with the hostess with the absolute mostest, the bruja herself, Eva.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the segment of ESPOOKYS Talk Cosmic Forecast for June 20th, 2025. So, as the sun enters Cancer soon, our emotions are going to be running deep. On a highlight, family time is going to be on a rise, probably because it's summertime. So grab a watermelon, head on over to your family's house, and start a gathering. Now on the spooky side, be prepared. Ghostly messages are coming in, ancestral visits, and you're going to have a lot of deja vu. So I love this, because I know it's someone's birthday.
Oh, guys.
And I know his dad wants to say hello.
Oh, man. I welcome it. I welcome my dad. Come say hello. My birthday's on Monday, guys. Monday the 23rd, in case you guys want to send me some gifts. But if you ain't got a couple pennies to spend, then why don't you just go ahead and shoot us an email or a message if you guys are listening. Just a happy birthday. I'm going to be a half century old.
A whole 2 quarters.
50 cent.
Oh, a 50-cent piece. That's what I'm going to get you.
Boom. Make sure it's from 1975.
I got this.
All right, then.
It's a lot of money there. 75, 3 quarters. I'm going to get really confused when I go to the bank. But I'm going to do my best.
I know you will.
And so I'm going to add the Capricorn Moon Junction in Pluto means that a lot of secrets are going to resurface. And power shift dynamics are going to be at a rise. So don't be starting stuff. Be kind.
Be kind.
All right. And when someone tells you a secret, either A, keep it to yourself, or if it's out and about, be surprised. Stay in your lane. Be a good human. If it doesn't involve you, just stay in your lane. Same thing with the ESPOOKYS. If they pop you out,
run.
Don't mess with it.
1, 2, 3, bye.
That's still my favorite.
Oh my goodness, guys.
Neptune's retrograde in shadow, so our dreams are going to be telling us things that are actually going to manifest into reality. So, if you are single, ready to mingle, don't be trying to put love spells on people. Not the time. Instead, learn to love yourself. Okay? And do something that you're really passionate about. Okay? Personally, I'm going to start giving out tarot card readings for free at the park.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I'll be doing.
Maybe for my birthday, you can give me a tarot card reading.
I would love that. But it has to be at a park.
All right. Let's do it.
A little picnic bench. Like in the movies. That's the vibe we're going for. And that has been your cosmic forecast.
That's nice, man. I picture myself at the park as an old 50-year-old just sitting at one of those like stone tables with a little chess set. Just like, hey, Sonny, I remember when I was... Yeah, that guy. I would be that guy.
I mean, we could play, but I'm going to need help from ChatGPT.
I don't play chess, yo.
We'll be both using ChatGPT. You know, we're just going to bring out the iPad so we know where we can move it to.
Done.
Hey, but we're going to do it.
Let's do it. You know what I've been doing lately?
What have you been doing lately?
I've been reading a little bit about some crazy stuff that someone turned me on to. We were talking about some different types of legends and folklore and things like that. And one of the things, I don't know if you guys remember me talking about vampires. Do you remember
Everyone remembers you talking about werewolves.
Well, it's because I'm Team Jacob.
That's right.
I
just love hearing it.
Oh, man. I ain't lying. But anyways, we started talking about all these things, and someone turned me on to some literature. And I'm not a big reader, you guys, but I do kind of enjoy what I enjoy.
Right.
And we were kind of taking a look at some things, and it really just kind of struck me the different things about vampires, like the vampire lore, where it originates from, maybe like Eastern European folklore, it's mainly the Slavic, and the vampire itself, the actual word translate to ghost monster.
Ghost monster.
Ghost monster.
Not bloodsucker.
Not blood-sucking, chupacabra, cosa nada.
Leech.
No.
Nothing.
Nuh-uh.
Wow.
Ghost monster.
Ghost monster. I kind of like that, though. It kind of makes sense because he doesn't have a reflection. I can see it now.
But the cool thing about it is the concept of the vampire is like a undead creature, preying on living,
Ooh, I love that you mentioned preying on preying, like a prey. All right.
Yep.
Hunting for something. I like that you bring that up because being the feminist that I am, okay, there is Mexican folklore about that specific part.
All right.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
So as you know, women have been oppressed for a very, very, very long time. I would even argue that we still kind of are. Before everybody gets on the hate comments, relax. I'm going to go over some Mexican folklore, but you have to bear with me as part of the words are in Nahuatl, which is the indigenous language still used by Mesoamerica, and I have a hard time pronouncing the words, so I'm going to do my best. So not only we talked about being half man, half werewolf, how about half vampire, half witch?
No.
Yes. Absolutely. And this is pronounced Tlahuelpuchi, and it's very difficult to say. So I'm not going to try to be here pronouncing the word as much as possible. But essentially, it's female witches that can shapeshift. And the most common one that is shared within the villages is an owl. And I kid you not, there is a video that lives rent-free in my mind about an owl that shows up at a church gathering, okay, Roman Catholic, because this is Mexico. And it is dancing as they are praising the Lord. And it is like legit dancing to the beat. And they're trying to sing louder and praising the Lord because they truly believe that this is a witch and she has shapeshifted. And so they're like scared out of their mind. So they're singing louder, praising the Lord louder. And the owl stretches out its legs. I didn't even know owls had long legs. So that was a new discovery for me. And it is dancing and vibing even harder. And it's rent-free because it brings me so much joy that both of them are in fear of each other in that video, right? Because it is truly an owl. But again, according to this folklore, it is a witch who has shapeshifted. But not only owls, but they can do turkeys or even a fireball.
Jeez.
And their preference, because they do have to drink blood once a month, is that of newborns at night. So you can imagine why all of these people were so scared to see an owl at church. I don't blame them. That this is something that they believe in.
I don't blame them.
And during the day, they can be anybody in society. Any woman out there. It could be one of your family members. And they are protected by an ancestral blood pact. Therefore, they cannot die unless their own family member kills them.
What?
Yes. So it is one of those generational curses that we was talking about.
That is a curse.
And it is hidden through female rage. But, I was also thinking, what if it's ancestral protection? What if something happened in this bloodline that this needed to occur in order to preserve them? Again, just thoughts.
Wow.
But I thought it was interesting because I was like, what? Half witch, half vampire? That's outrageous. So Arturo and I are going to go a little bit back and forth in folklores. So that's one of many Mexican folklores. So Arturo, what do you
crazy.
have there? I know. I'm like shocked. I shocked myself.
Can't even. I know, right?
I can't fathom it, and now I can't unsee the video in my mind replaying the owl getting down at church, just shaking all its feathers about.
You know, it's. I don't know. The things that I was reading about wasn't more folklore, but it was more like fact-based.
Ooh.
You know, about just the roots of where it came from, the origins, you know, the beginnings, some of the characteristics and things like that. And in Slavic folklore, you know, the vampire legends are deeply rooted in like the Slavic traditions, things like that. They appeared as early as the 11th century, you know, and the crazy thing that I really kind of liked is that these creatures that they were manifesting, or I should say, just kind of believing in, is what they blamed for unexplained deaths, plagues, natural disasters.
Oh, like a coping mechanism.
Yep, something like that.
Oh, that makes sense.
Absolutely, you know, because they're always depicted as evil beings or witches that have been condemned to supernatural existence, you know, returned spirits, things like that. And when you kind of come up and find things like plague or something that can't be explained, someone, you know, and it just that's what they kind of turn to.
Right. And I mean, that's been going on forever.
Yeah.
If I can put the blame on someone else, that's so much better for me.
The crazy thing is back then, because like, you know, I talk about Team Jacob all the time, but I know there's some Edwards out there. And the thing,
sparkling away,
you know, just twinkling away, you know.
Twinkling, that's so much better.
But in the early Slavic folklore, vampires were often like bloated, crazy-faced corpses rather than pale, elegant figures. It was just different. And then, you know, I was reading so much about it. It was pretty cool. It was a lot of interesting things about their characteristics, like sensitivity to light, you know, and it was a lot. It was a lot.
See, when you say that, and like the image that comes to mind is, and I'm so sorry, I'm terrible with pronunciations in both languages, both Spanish and English. Nosferatu.
Yep.
I watched that for Christmas and took my
Merry
family.
Christmas, man.
And they were horrified.
Of course.
And I was having the time of my life. And I was like, but it's a love story. And they're like,
yeah.
that is not. A little concerned. But it was so good because it really depicted like that version of a vampire, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, like it was just crazy the amount of hypnosis, manipulation that type of vampire could do. And the garlic did not work. I was kind of bummed.
It's funny that you bring that up because you talk about the depiction of vampires in movies and literature and things like that. And the literary influence that I kind of think about whenever I think of vampires are things like Bram Stoker's Dracula. You know, it really did a lot to bring popularity to vampires and things like that. And it's crazy because it draws inspiration from like a Romanian folklore.
Right.
A historical figure. And that figure was Vlad the Impaler. And the crazy thing about reading about this guy is that, you know, basically the biggest thing that really gets me is that he was an impaler. That during war and things like that, he would literally impale his enemies. That's crazy.
That's a great way to rule them all, though, is through fear.
I mean, for sure. And if you're going to be spiking a bunch of people and having their own body weight kind of drop down and split them in half when you impale them, that's kind of nuts.
I mean, I'm terrified now. Please tell me he no longer exists.
I don't think so. Although they say that...
and his bloodline is, I don't know, a pacifist now?
Nah, I don't think so.
No.
You know, his cruelty was real. His reputation was bloodthirsty. He was a villain, man. He was a villain. And he was amplified by all the propaganda pamphlets and stuff, back then. And yeah, that just kind of turned into the creation of this creature that they call Dracula. Yeah, kind of cool.
Yeah, but I mean, that makes sense. Like, he really was bloodthirsty.
I'm telling you. It's kind of cool because even though he was popularized by that particular novel, which kind of depicted him as a bloodthirsty vampire. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
No, I have not.
A little creepy, a little weird, a little strange. I think it was Gary Oldman. I could be wrong. But it was a love story, man.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
then I'm in.
It's a crazy.
I'm gonna make sure
story.
I watch
You're
it
gonna
on
have to check
Christmas
that out.
morning.
Hey, invite the family. Christmas
Yeah.
fun. You know what I'm saying?
They
Maybe-
endured the other one.
Maybe
so
that's
they'll
your
be
new tradition, yo. Yuck,
Christmas
yuck,
day.
and yuck. That's not great. Anyways,
fine. We digress.
yes. But there's a lot of different things. Like, you know what else I was reading about? Just briefly, of course,
Yeah.
But, when you kind of get down, like we say, we talk about the rabbit hole all the time. When you kind of
All the time.
get into something, you're getting into it, right? I was curious mainly about the relationship between a vampire and a bat. You ever think of that? Is it shape-shifting? Like, is it something that just because bats themselves, like an actual vampire bat, actually sucks blood? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have a lot of similarities and a lot of things like that, but you see some things that they actually shift into a bat to kind of maneuver and get, wherever, and then they, next thing you know, the vampire's standing there. There's just a lot of really kind of cool things if you guys dive into some of these crazy stories.
When you bring up that one, then I think of the chupacabras,
True that.
which, was like really recent in like the 1990s is when they swore that they saw it. And it's more of a modern vampire folklore. And, if you don't know what it is, essentially it's a goat blood-sucking, like, feline meets wolf, big thing animal. That's the best way to put it. Okay, when you
Is that really the best way to put it?
it is scary, it is terrifying, it is big, and it'll even go after the poor little chickens. Like, goat is its favorite, but it's also gone after cows, so just livestock in general.
Yeah.
But I don't know why the legend is so impactful in rural Mexico and Puerto Rico, where the people actually call police officers to come and investigate when they think it's happened. Because why is the entire corpse there? Why didn't it get eaten? Why only the blood? Or is it maybe like a giant spider?
No, don't say things like that. I don't like that.
Because that's how they eat.
I'll turn this off right now. It's not okay.
So, was it like the government trying to maybe take people's lands
It's hard to tell.
and instilling fear in these, or was it maybe like an experimentation gone wrong?
Depending on how much that you want to spiral down. Because think of this. There are quite a few sightings, whatever, evidence, right, of these mutilated creatures and things like that also associate with aliens. So if you think about that, right, and it's very similar. It's very similar that livestock and things like that are found without drained of blood, without a scene of some type of a struggle or fight, no blood strewn about the place and things like that have been associated with, like, I don't want to say crop circles, but like indentations on like the land and things like that, and from like the craft landing. Very, very similar. So are they covering up? Are they doing something else? Are they trying to take our thoughts and kind of change them to, are they playing that game where they're kind of shifting our attention to a different direction?
Yeah, like, hear me out. Because now that you said that, this really sparked, like, the gears are running in my head right now, like rapid speed. What if the chupacabras is the government's egregore to cover
Shut up.
aliens?
Shut up.
Tell me that's not like the perfect plot.
Of course.
That's
It's a possible, man.
and
I'm
in the
telling
90s when we started having a little more technology. I mean, it wasn't great, but we were able to communicate more.
There are things out there that I have often thought
That's genius.
was just a bait and switch. Just a bait and switch.
Yeah.
Because there's too many similarities.
Too many.
There's too many similarities. I don't know.
I'm not going to be able to sleep now.
Well, there you go. That's good. Then you won't be abducted. Oh, man.
But I digress. Sorry. I'm just really in a rabbit hole mood today.
There you go.
I digress, and I want to come back to El Vampiro de Guadalajara.
What?
El Vampiro de Guadalajara.
Dígame.
So translate to the vampire of Guadalajara in Mexico. And it's a 19th century urban legend of a European vampire. So another white man in Mexico. All right.
Dang.
Who fled persecution. So obviously they were like, oh, vampire. And he was like, oh, I'm going to turn into a bat and fly away. And ended up in vacationing in Mexico, which makes no sense because it's very sunny there. And settled in Guadalajara. He eventually, revealed himself somehow. Someone caught him, or, people have intuition, so I'm pretty sure they were smart enough to figure it out. But they staked him through the heart. And where he is buried, that famous cemetery, Panteón de Belén, okay, a tree sprouted. And so they say that if that tree is cut down, struck down by lightning, or anything happens to that tree, the vampire will rise again.
No.
Yeah. And so, I kid you not, like, they protect that tree at all costs. If you go and visit, they don't even want you to touch it. Because they truly believe that there is a vampire there.
Does that mean we're doing a Spookies road trip?
Road trip to Guadalajara, that's what I'm seeing.
Vámonos. I got some family in Guadalajara and Morelia and all those big cities around. And
There's a direct flight, which I really like.
stay tuned. That might happen.
Yeah, it would be a good, 5-day trip.
Let's do it.
So that one really got me because
You got me just on the slight description, and after the podcast, guys, we sit around and we chit chat, man. I want you to tell me more about that because I'm not lying. You got me.
And I was just thinking, like, how awesome would it be to go and see it and see if I sense anything or if I'm able to communicate with it or have a dream or, any of that. I just can't wait. I'm like really excited.
We're going to have to check that out.
We're going to have to check that out.
That'd be sick.
But overall, is the fact that the vampire in this case is of colonial descent, is that just how the people kind of interpreted the Catholic Church taking away all of its indigenous heritage,
Huh?
And I also kind of think, going back to empowering women, was it a tactic to ensure that young women didn't give in to their needs? Like, oppression was real, and fear is a great way to control.
Fear is a great way to control.
So I was just thinking, like, that could be something.
They got me with the kukui.
They got me with La Llorona.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Because that demonized women.
And it seems to be something that I think that you're hitting it right on the head, because it seems to be something that that's used in our culture. You know, it's used in a lot of different cultures. You know, fear for control, especially of young children, impressionable people, you know, things like that. So I could totally see how they would use something like that.
And I mean, in all these stories that I've shared, like there is a common theme here. Like is the word fear mongering? Sometimes I know that a word fits, but I just don't quite remember the definition. So it's they're definitely using fear to ensure that they can control people or persuade them in one way or another, getting an outcome that they want. I mean, even with, oh my goodness, pronouncing this is so difficult. Talotsipuchi, right? Like the half witch, half vampire legend. Like, there we go, demonizing women again.
Yeah.
You know, what's scarier than a vampire that's at the cemetery with the full tree growing out of his heart? A witch.
Yeah.
A witch vampire.
A witch vampire.
Like,
a double whammy, if you will.
Yeah, because like if she wants to enter your home, she does a ritual and she comes right in. Whereas Dracula, you have to invite him in.
Unless you believe the fact that there's an association with the bat. If they can shapeshift into something like a bat, that some stories, some folklore, things like that do have them doing, because there's such a strong association between bats and vampires. You can call it, you know, everything from just being nocturnal, you know, kind of doing the night thing, to the sucking of blood, if you talk about certain types of bats, you know. And I think, you know what another thing is? I think it's just straight fear. Yeah. People fear bats for some reason. I kind of do. I've had bats fly around me, you know, out in the wilderness and stuff like that. Matter of fact, I had a house in Calaveras County in California, and it's kind of out there. It's out by the lakes and stuff like that. And we actually had small fruit type bats that would like nest at our house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for real. And it was cute and stuff until they start flying at you, and then they're freaky. You know, and then people give them that negative connotation. They call them flying rats and this and that and things like that, which, I mean, it's not fair to the poor little guys, but let's face it, man, they're kind of freaky looking sometimes.
See, I think they're really cute.
Do you? I have some pictures up on my screen right now that I'll show you, and you'll be like, maybe not that one.
No, they're all very cute.
Okay.
Even with all the different faces, I've seen them all. I think that it's, you know, when they say flying rats, it's because of the fact that they carry so many diseases. Just like, because, you know, they are really close related to rats. And so there's that aspect. But also they're not very clean, and them being in your home is an infestation, and they're not making your house better in any way. Like, at least the spiders are killing little bugs, right? But would I keep black widows around? No, because they are a threat to my life. So I'm assuming that that's where that is. But also, bats have rabies. They can carry rabies. And so for that reason, we have a big fear, because fear is what keeps us alive. It's a defense mechanism. So it makes sense. Do I think they're adorable, and do I have one tattooed on my wrist? Absolutely.
Do you really?
I really do.
Wow, true dat. Cool.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, no, they're so cute. What do you mean?
They just say that bats are dark creatures of the night.
Like Batman.
They're associated with mysterious and supernatural gothic literature long before Bram Stoker's Dracula. You know, like it's just crazy.
Like really good looking Batman. Just throwing it out there.
Dang.
But the original one with the actor that's also from Beetlejuice.
The actor from Beetlejuice himself?
Yeah, like the actor who plays Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
When he played Batman.
You mean Batman? There you go.
What's that actor's name though? Let's give him a shout out.
You really don't remember?
I really don't remember.
Michael Keaton.
Michael, thank you. I like that you left me just rambling there.
I had to. I wanted to see if you'd get there.
No.
Come on, man. Who can forget?
But
Batman.
he's great. Shout out to him. Maybe he can come on our podcast.
Yo, Michael Keaton. I know you're listening, man. Everyone does. So
I think he's amazing.
that's your invite. Hit us up at ESPOOKYS Talk, ESPOOKYSTALK @gmail.com.
Or for you, Lotus Moon is spookies talk at gmail.com.
Dang. You have a direct, that you better hit that up. Anybody, 6 degrees to Michael Keaton. So there you go. Anybody knows him.
But respectfully, because I'm just married and children and all that. Very respectfully. I just think he's so awesome.
He is awesome.
I like his work.
He is awesome. That's talent.
He's the type of actor that like molds into his stuff. But
that is talent.
But I digress.
Yeah.
I would say my favorite Dracula movie out there is
Twilight.
Okay. We know that's yours. We know. We have written it down. Everyone knows. Everyone's ready for the ESPOOKYS Talk trivia night. For me, it's Van Helsing. Because just like there's vampires, there needs to be a vampire slayer. Oh. Sorry, Buffy, you don't take the cake on this one.
Vampire slayers. You know what I've never seen, but I heard.
Have you seen the movie Van Helsing, though, before we move on? It's one of my favorite movies just because the costume wear is like kind of like piratey and like steampunk, but not like too
Isn't that like
out there. So the costume wear is awesome. But also like the idea is that the vampire is trying to have more vampires out there in the world. And so the first stage is a bat, which I thought was very interesting. Yeah. And then it's a really good movie. You should watch it.
That's with the Wolverine, right? What's that guy's name? Hugh Jackman. There it is. Yeah.
Took 2 of us to put it together.
And Kate Beckinsale. Who could forget Kate?
She's gorgeous.
She's one of my favorite. Kate, you can call if you want.
You can use my Lotus Moon.
ESPOOKYSTalk@gmail.com. Oh man, guys, I'm telling you, there's a lot of good stuff out there. When you talk about vampire movies, there's one that I haven't seen, and I don't know if I'm going to, but just because of the title, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter.
Abraham
Lincoln, Vampire Hunter.
You know what? He's cute too, though, because he's tall.
Oh my goodness!
Just put it out there.
I just want to throw that out there. That's a real movie.
I'm gonna watch it.
It was a book.
I'll see if he's good.
It was a book that I remember at one of those like school like book fairs. And then look at that. Looky. Now it's a movie. Okay,
that's pretty cool though.
Yeah, but I guess so.
Everyone, you should read the book first. Because if you do it the other way, you'll be... I don't know.
You'll be that guy.
It's disappointing either way.
You will be that guy. There's a lot to it, guys. I mean, this was just one of those times where we wanted to kind of discuss a few things. And you have to understand that not along with just the origin of the vampire and things like that, that there are actual locations around the world that's just really embedded. First thing, and staying within the States, the first thing that comes to mind is like New Orleans.
That's right. When the French vampires came over.
They say that there's a lot of different things going on in New Orleans. And it has such a crazy, rich, strange, bizarre history, And you're right. It's the Creole, which is a combination, French and stuff. It's just different. I go there and it's a different place, and they have a lot of beliefs. They have a lot of superstitions. They have a lot of things that just really intrigue me.
Well, if you're a fan of Twilight, you're going to love Vampire's Diaries.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's not a movie, so it takes a little more of a commitment to watch.
So there's no Jacob, is what you're saying.
There's multiple Jacobs.
Oh, whoa.
Multiple.
Oh,
everyone's going to have to tune in after you watch it all.
Everyone's going to tune in.
But I do like that it goes over the history of the vampires in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And I just, people like entertainment. So this is one way to get the information. But, there's like the casket girls. Again, me and my feminine era that I'm in right now. And I'm all about empowering our fellow women out there in the world. So the casket girls. I was going to try to pronounce it in French, but I think I've reached my pronunciation limit for the day. 1700s French girls were sent to marry colonists. They arrived with small coffin-shaped suitcases, which I don't know where they sell those, but I need it. After their arrival, their story began with a blood-drained body and strange sicknesses. And as you mentioned, here we go again, where people are blame shifting. Mm-hmm. Some say the caskets didn't hold linens, but vampires.
Wow.
And that there's like a specific building, and I don't remember the name of it, but it's said to still be haunted. And the shutters are nailed closed to this day on the 3rd floor. No one's allowed to stay up there because their souls are still there. And people have mentioned that like they'll see them open, which I'm like, how if they're nailed shut? But,
wow.
I think I need to go again.
I'm telling you, there's another one. I'd go.
Okay. Yeah, we're just going to be going everywhere.
We're just going to have to, I guess. Because if you're going to talk about them, then you should probably also... Have you heard of the Carter brothers?
Oh, I'm sorry. I want to correct that. They were left there to end their lives. Like they were sealed up there. Nailed shut shutters. Oh my God. I'd be haunted that place too. I'd be enraged. I'm sure it was just another like... We don't like you because you're different kind of situation. Oh my God.
Most likely.
Well, I'm so sad now.
The Carter brothers were publicly executed and then buried.
Oh.
And then they say that they've like reappeared after their deaths, fueling the rumors that they were vampires.
The chills.
I'm telling you.
Chills. The energy shifted so hard right now.
John and Wayne Carter, man.
That's wild.
1930s. Responsible for a series of disappearances in the French Quarter. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff.
It's just wild. And again, like, it's things going on, unexplained. Someone's just in the wrong area at the wrong time, or they get blamed because that's what's different, and it happened at the same time. It's just wild to me.
Yeah. It is crazy, and there's a lot to it. And I think that we're probably going to talk about vampires again.
Yeah, definitely needs a part 2. Please help us with our research. We want to answer your questions or anything that you found super interesting. Because there's just so much to choose from. And I don't want this to get factual and boring. I want it to still be a table talk.
Absolutely.
Kind of podcast. So please keep writing to us.
And how can you write to us?
At Lotus Moon is Spookies Talk.
Oh, Michael Keaton, I know you're listening.
For Michael.
Hey, Kate Beckinsale, I am going to personally invite you right now to be on my podcast. So the next time you're in California in the Bay Area, you hit me up and you too can be right here at the table with us chopping it up.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Boom.
To get Batman's perspective.
I went with Kate Beckinsale, but you went straight back to Michael Keaton. Hey, if you're both come on down, man. We'll do you guys together. You can all be right here at the table with us. Boom.
That'd be awesome. I'll even cook some tamales.
Órale. Vámonos.
Homemade tortillas. Anything to swing the deal to get them out here.
Let's do it. Well, guys, it is that time. Don't you know? Again, if you guys really want to reach out and help us out, you guys got to hit us up. You can reach us by the link that's right there in our bios, or you can email us at ESPOOKYS, ESPOOKYSTALK @gmail.com. Please don't forget to shoot me a little shout out. My birthday really is on Monday, guys. I ain't joking. I will be half century mark.
Happy birthday to you.
Me.
You're super awesome, you know.
I do.
Everybody wishes to be like you.
Everyone does.
But too bad, there's only one of you.
And there's only one. Well, guys, with that, we're going to tone it down a little bit. But I do want you to remember one thing. When you go to bed tonight and you're laying your head down for that wonderful slumber, please remember to check under your beds.
Lock your closet doors and your mirrors.
It's a spooky time.